Morning fellas, welcome to the Fine and Dandy podcast.
The podcast where two people catch up about Kilimanjaro. We're not supping up, well we are because, you know, we've got these little puppies, but...
Tell us about Prime.
Yeah, sorry about that, we're not sponsored, never will be. But we're just, what we're doing is, right, I'm gonna let you behind the curtain again.
For fuck's sake.
Obviously, this is gonna be about Kilimanjaro. Mm-hmm. I've been back in England for a week and a half.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
A week and a half, and we just haven't really done all with podcasts. I think I've needed to just chill out and play on PlayStation for a bit. No cap.
It's a 13-hour stint on the PlayStation.
Stinking.
Absolutely honking. But Dan, I actually wanted to introduce it a bit differently.
Okay,
I wanted to treat you as a guest, man.
Okay, go on, guys.
Today, I am joined by a man who has raised £2,344 for Barnsley Hospital charity, climbing the 6th highest mountain in the world, Kilimanjaro. Dan, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Thank you. You're doing yourself some discredit. We raised 2,000.
I didn't do any walking at all.
No, but we did a 24-hour pod.
Which actually were the best time of my life. And
I forgot to bring Jenga.
I've got actual Jenga upstairs. What do you want to do? Would you want to do a little Jenga? A little game of Jenga? Nah.
But
Sorry.
about that.
But yeah, basically, Dan's officially raised the £2,344 for charity, doing Kilimanjaro.
Shame it's not £2.5 but you know.
Are you keeping this open?
No.
When is it? Should we close it just now?
We're going to close this, and by the time it's up...
You might notice with Matt Hancocked it.
Yeah, before I get accused of being Matt Hancock, we have got a signed Barnsley shirt to give away, and we're going to give that away to someone who's donated. So what we're going to do is, this will probably go up first, and then the winning video, we're going to do it as a thing. Obviously, we need to pull everything off all the data off Just Giving, rig it so someone that we like wins. Only joking.
There's 102 people that could have a chance to win. I am actually in that.
I am, because I was the first donation.
Nat, you're anonymous. Nat is actually in that.
Yeah.
I've got like a 2% kind of.
That's not bad for Leeds.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Barnsley are doing well now, so I like Barnsley.
we're going to get that away, and then we're going to put this Kilimanjaro to bed. I'm going to confess to you one thing before you get started on interviewing me. Another thing a bit about being a slob and not really getting into the swing of things, because we both admitted that we haven't. I've took millions of photos and videos to make like a video for YouTube, like
love
a
it.
thing.
Absolutely love that.
And I can now I'm already up mics. I couldn't be arsed doing it with it.
I think I couldn't be asked to be out down, but now I'm at mics. So
I've seen this up here. I'm back.
Okay.
I'm thirsty. Do you mind?
Yeah, no. So we're going to crack open a few primes along the way. Thanks to Gatorade for sponsoring this
Chocolate
podcast.
punch.
That one is fake, I can guarantee.
That one tastes exactly like Gatorade. It's quite nice. That. Anyway, is that cherry?
That's the worst prime I've ever had in my life. Guess I've sucked my fat cock, man. To be fair, we're gonna try that one in a bit. But right, so what I did to do this podcast, I did my own research. I'm assuming, as a man who's climbing Kilimanjaro, you probably did your own research as well on the climb. So I watched somebody's day 1 to 8 of the climb of Kilimanjaro.
Can't be mine because I didn't fucking make it.
Well, you are going to make it though. But this is an American woman called like Ashley something. She's doing it with like a team of like all Canadian celebrities.
Quite fixed. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, she's wearing like sunglasses and that.
Yeah.
And when she gets at something, she like passes out. And she says, but I soldiered on now. Like, fuck off, mate, dickhead. It's about walking around Manhattan, man. Nah, it is hard. But so I watched that, and I've got like a few questions along the way during that, because obviously we have talked about Kilimanjaro a little bit, and you've given me some things, but I can't visualise it. But now I've seen it. Like, I've seen the slight walk through the rainforest, and you start getting to these different things. I've got things such as Shira One Camp in here. See, I know things like that, Dan.
Let's paint a picture for the viewers. Let's do what you need to do, and do what you need to do again.
Well, what's that bracelet for a start?
Sorry, I'm actually Aboriginal. When you climb Kilimanjaro, you've got to get out of some of these
You're
fucking
one of them tents of smoking weed. Like,
Probably got did you doing that?
North Harris. Right. First question I've got, like, I haven't asked you this yet. Obviously, I know you went through work.
Yeah.
What company did you go with? And how was the experience with that company? Did you get to talk to them, like the booking company? I want to talk from booking to mountain, basically, Dan.
So,
like, is it KLM or something you go to?
No, that's Airline You Dig. Right, so we went with Can Do Adventures. Obviously,
Shout out to Can Do Adventures.
I went through work. And they sort of booked it, but you have to. There's reps that you go on like Zoom calls with in England, and they tell you like what you need to do, keep you in touch. And this obviously probably applies for more. Obviously, Tanzania is got Kilimanjaro in it, and I think it's like basic main. It's obviously the main attraction and probably one of the biggest employers of Tanzania. So all the other travel companies that looked on the mountain, they look just as good, but I can't fault it. So essentially, All you have to do is book your flights to get there and back. Apart from that, from you getting picked up from the airport, that can do sort for everything. So this was for getting from airport to the hotel, the nights in the hotel while you're there, the mountain, the safari, all them hotels, everything from literally arriving in the country till leaving, can do sorts it out. So shout out to them legends. But yeah, good lads, lovely staff, sound as fuck.
Fair play. Well, in that, I assume they give you like a little pack, a little thing like this is what you need to bring, essentially. So I'm going to ask you a question of, in your backpack and in your luggage, obviously now you've climbed the mountain, you've been up and down.
That's fuck.
Is there anything you think, I wish I put that in my backpack? Or is there things in your backpack and your luggage where you thought, fuck it, I didn't really need that. So anybody who's climbing Kilimanjaro, if you're looking, it says like, oh, you need 17 toilet rolls and 4 Haribos. Do you actually need that? Or like, is there what you wish you would put in there? You know what I mean?
Clothes-wise...
So do you need all the heavy duties?
So to summarise, and what Andy's saying is you got your duffel bag, which the porters carry, which got basically a suitcase, and you got your day pack, which is what you carry, which got your water, your snacks for the day, your sun cream, all that kind of stuff. And obviously on the day you sort of pack what you need for the day, and then off you pop. Clothes-wise, one thing I wouldn't say is like a specific item of clothing that I missed and I didn't require, because I literally followed it on Can-Do, but on any other one, there's a full checklist of what you actually need.
You're really not wanting to be sponsored by Can-Do.
No.
There is loads of them out there.
Don't charge Can-Do.
Don't, if anything.
There's literally a full-on itinerary checklist of what you need to buy, and they even link you to Amazon. So it's funny, they recommend you stuff. And this is the thing, you've got to get the right gear. You can't just get shitty Sports Direct, Kagul and stuff like that. You actually need proper stuff. But you link it, it's like, oh, you need a soft shell jacket. Oh, recommended brands, the North Face, Arc'teryx, you know that one with dinosaur front, it costs about 800 quid. You can't link it, it's like, come on fellas. But obviously you do need stuff. So I followed it meticulously. And the one thing that I'm annoyed with myself is just more boxers, more underwear. Right, so obviously you've got a limited, you can only take like 15 kg limit on your duffel, because obviously porters carry it on the red, bless them. So you can't...
carrying one person's duffel per porter, or is it like, they've got a 15 kg on back, 15 kg on head, 15 kg up front?
They fucking just carry those.
I
don't know, someone carried it. I think the same person carried it, but anyway, you've only got 15 kg, so obviously, they're right, you only need one soft shell jacket, 2 like base layers and stuff, 2 pair of walking trousers. I'm not disputing that, but they do say like, 3 or 4 underwear. And obviously, like usually when you go on a weekend away, like you go away for 2 nights, you pack 14 boxes in case you shit yourself. We all do that. But obviously, I did think up and out and like, no, I've got to. They're saying it for a reason.
Yeah. So you only took 3 or 4 pairs?
Yeah, about 5. In retrospect, I just wish I'd have took more, because they take up no room. It was sort of like I had like a dry bag that you fold over and it like clips and it like obviously keeps it dry in case it gets wet. I had a dry bag for my underwear, and they all look say you've got to wear like not cotton, you know, like. I think I've got some on now, no offence. You know, like synthetic, that kind of material.
Yeah. Like sporty, that shit.
Yeah, you've got to wear them, because obviously cotton is like fucking don't wick away moisture out and it makes you stink.
Sweaty.
Yeah, it's very warm. So you've got to wear them, so I had to buy some more New Balance ones. So essentially I had like 4 pair New Balance and like 1 pair Calvins like them. And I would just, every morning, just dip and pick a new one out. But obviously because they all look the same and I couldn't tell, I'd be like, that'll do. So I guarantee that there were 2 pair of boxers I brought back, never wore them. And rest are rinsed. But yeah, I wish I brought a bit more underwear, because you can. And then a hat like this. I only took a sun hat, and I wore it. I should have worn it today.
Unbelievable in that, by the way.
I think it's I should have worn it today.
Yeah,
I did love it, because you need it for protection for like your neck and stuff, and obviously for sun.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't mind like at camp if I could have just like slapped this on.
Yeah, just chilled and that.
And then this is not related to mountain, but obviously afterwards we did a safari, and they didn't really tell you.
There might be a safari video coming out soon.
There's got to be. They didn't really tell you what to pack for that.
Yeah.
So the time literally you need this and this for mountain, and then for safari it's like what do you take? So because I was too focused on mountain, I didn't really take out for safari, so I just had to wear the same shit. I managed to get it washed in the hotel. I paid for them to wash it, but like, I just wish I'd have on like. For example...
Did you feel like a real bloke getting like laundry done?
Yeah.
I bet you're fucking...
I've always seen it on films and they actually do it, man, even in Africa. This is another thing.
Bit weird towards Africa.
I wish that I'd have had a pair of trainers. Because the only thing I took for the full trip, this includes safari, were my hiking boots, which you wear to airport on the way out, because they say if you lose your luggage, you need your hiking boots. So you wear them.
Can do.
That's a tip. Good lads can do. But there's obviously plenty of other companies. The hiking boots, and I wore and I took my Crocs for like camp shoes. Obviously, when you're around camp, you just need something to slip on, which is fine. But again, on safari, and I'm like, the days in Tanzania, all I had were my Crocs. And like, I didn't really like having my feet out and flip-flops and stuff, and it was like...
You been sockless with Crockless?
Yeah, obviously I were. Yeah. And sometimes socks with Crocs, but...
Yeah.
Like, when we went to these nice hotels, I won't talk about the safari, but for example, when we went to these like nice hotels on safari, I wouldn't mind just like some night, my trainers put on an evening. But it's like, you know, I've got nice clean clothes, like a twat with Crocs on.
Yeah.
And they just didn't suit me because I'm like this pale... I just looked the most English... Chaviest bloke you've ever seen.
I imagine in Johnny
No face and Crocs, that's all I wear.
That's fucking mad. Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Dan, but I've got a side question.
That load of shit, Dan, but...
No, it is. I'm very interested. Can do, if you do want to get in touch, because we're going to do 3 Peaks Saturday. Do it quick. Basically, as many people won't know because nobody listens, but we are primarily a beer podcast, Dan. Yeah. Talk to me about the Kilimanjaro beer. What the hell was it like? The bottle looked amazing. I thought you were going to bring one back so we could have it like on the shelf or something in the office or something like that. That'd have been really good.
I'll get one off Amazon.
Yeah.
I didn't even think I didn't have money. I didn't have close currency. The beer. I had my first beer the day before I went up the mountain.
Yeah. Made a few, to be fair.
It was lovely. It just tastes like beer.
Oh, no.
No, I can't.
Classic fine and dandy, really.
No, I know. We're alright. We're 9. No, it was just like a standard lager. What I will say about... I'm not just going to talk about Kilimanjaro beer. Every beer in Tanzania is just named after, like, there's a safari beer, there's a Serengeti beer.
Oh, really? That's fucking sick.
Kilimanjaro.
Did you have a safari beer, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I tried them all.
Oh, you didn't bring any even back?
I can't. Porters, plain, carrying it on wearing that. Well, the funny about putting your luggage out, aren't there? I just didn't think. I didn't
that's true. But I will literally buy them all.
The beer were nice, but the beer after the mountain were even nicer.
Any point when you're having that beer before mountain, do you think this could be my actual last beer because I couldn't die of beer?
No, I'm not dying, man, as fuck.
We're nice to have that like celebration beer after like, fuck me, the golden nectar. I've just completed a really big thing.
It were, but my first... So when you get that, we're skipping to M, but when you get down, there's a gate where you get picked up by a bus and that. And we got first down by about an hour, waiting for others. And there's a shop with beers and souvenirs and all sorts, obviously bracelets.
Is that what's called, beers and souvenirs? That's fantastic.
Yeah. My first drink weren't actually a beer. It was just a normal Coke, which is like unheard of for me.
It's not unheard of for you. You always have a normal Coke.
No, I'm not.
Every time I have to hear you excuse your behaviour because you're like, I'm having a normal Coke. It's not like me.
No, it's like but they have like really long thin bottles, like proper, them actual Haribo jellies, them.
Genuine?
Yeah, and it was the nicest thing. So obviously, you've been eating not much and not much with flavour.
We'll get on to food.
And you've been drinking not much. So that, to have something with sugar and flavour like this is...
I bet that was unbelievable, to be fair.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Could have been primed at the bottom, that'd be nice.
Well, thanks to KSI sponsored this video, but it's wank. I will now start talking about actually Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this a little bit off here because I did these notes of the day. So there's a few different routes to take, and I have written a fun fact in here. The quickest time ever done Kilimanjaro is by Carl Egloff in 4 hours and 56 minutes. Mm-hmm. Not to diss you at all, because that's a different route, obviously.
That's a piss on my street as well.
But what route did you take?
The 8-day Lamosho.
Lamosho route, yeah? So talk to me about the Lamosho route, starts off in the rainforest. We're going to get into the thick of it now.
So obviously there's different routes up for...
You can do
it in... They've done well calling it can do. You can do. But these obviously the routes about. You can do other routes. It's just sort of... The longer it is, the more chance of summiting you've got because you're spending time at altitude. That's literally it.
Yeah. So I saw on the website, I think it was like... There's even 11-day ones.
Yeah, that's not
too
far.
That takes piss to be honest, can do. But like, there's like 6-day ones to like...
There's 4... I think it's either 4, 6 or 8.
And you did the 8.
Yeah, and obviously the more time you spend at altitude, but like, you know, you're more time at mountain, you get to see different stuff. So like when we got to like camp 2 or 3, we saw a road, not like a tarmac road, but like they like point out this road, and that's where you start the, you know, if you did the 4-day.
Right.
All you've done is just skip.
There.
Oh, yeah, it's only one road, but you just skipped it.
Yeah.
So we started in like the jungle, and that was like 1.5 days, so we camped in jungle. And then you just like sort of popping out at trees. But one thing I will say is when you're in the jungle, there's no... Obviously, we were absolutely pissed first 2 days. Well, yeah, it was easy as all. But like, because you're in trees, there's no indication of progress. Yeah. You know, because like, you can't see, I can see more trees. So I'm like, am I at New Millennium or what?
Well, I've got a few things to say here. So this woman that I watched on YouTube doing this route, she kept saying things like, the guys in that, obviously, what's that word?
Pula.
Slowly. But they were making like insanely good progress. It was like, they were basically doing an 8-day hike, but they're like, oh, I'm doing it in 4 hours, basically, on that thing. And I wondered if like it was similar to your experience. Like, was it just like, obviously early doors, piece of pace, like everyone kind of wants to fucking get... And you know me and I know you, I can never enjoy out. So I'm always just thinking, right, let's get this done, let's get this done. Yeah. Is that, I imagine that's what it was like in Rainforest, is trying to get to fucking first camp. Like, I never enjoy anything else when it to be over, basically.
I don't know what, I would like to know what group they were not can do, because if it weren't Pula, ours were. I remember the first day, obviously, you just don't know what's coming. You're starting in Rainforest, you don't know what camps are like, everything is new, so it's all exciting. But yet, first walk, we were only like 4 hours, but Jesus Christ, when I said 4 hours, I could have done it in 10 minutes.
Really?
The pace were like the slowest of the full trek, apart from Summit Night, it was horrendous.
Why do you think that is?
They set the pace, obviously. It's not like they can't walk any quicker, they've done it a million times, but like, it's just to get used to it. And think about it, there's different people in group who's got different abilities, different fitness levels. They've got to accommodate to them all. Don't get me wrong, they could run up, but like, so there's always a guide at the front, the lead guide, who the swap each day. Yeah. And the 3 guys were at the back, and obviously, first days we all stuck together, but as you go up the mountain, you know, I were always up front because I'm hard as fuck, and then the people, you know, the people that dropped off at back, and that's what the guys were for. So I think it was just to set the tone. Yeah, okay. And also because I think if you walked at the pace that you could have done, you would have actually got to camp in like 2 minutes.
Do you reckon?
You could have done it in 2 hours, I reckon. But also as well,
you got to take your surroundings.
Yeah, in, that's what I'm about to say. They do say it always says Pula, which means slowly. But like he said before we set off, if you can't talk, you're walking too quick. What is it? And especially in the jungle, because in jungle it's like obviously like a path that's been trodden in. It's single file, so like you need to be able to talk and interact with people. Yeah. Otherwise, you just steamed at first camp and be like, well, what was that then? Do you know what I mean?
Did you get a good chance to interact with your group on that?
On first one?
On the first walk. Or maybe like, I don't know, because you obviously it's single file, but you can't just be silent for 4 hours.
People's talking that, and obviously at first day we're getting to know each other. I don't know any of these people from Adam, or I didn't at the start, so it was. But I think the excitement was there. Well, we'd done a 4-hour journey to get to the gate. Yeah. And then like an hour and a half wait, we had us packed lunch, got stuff ready, wait to set off. And then we set off. But obviously, like I said, everything we knew, we were excited. We didn't know what would come in. We didn't know what camp were like, so...
What's it like being in a jungle? Is that your first jungle experience?
That's my first official rainforest.
Did Ant and Dec come out of any corner?
And there were no stars for camp. But, can I be honest with you, I would expect it to be like, this is an actual rainforest.
Like, them like proper multicoloured frogs and that everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere. Oh, everywhere you hear. And there were a bit of that.
That was Ant and Dec. Trying to order a taxi.
There were a bit of that, but like...
Do you mind if we crack a different...
Yeah, I was...
That one?
Yeah, you do others. But it weren't as jungle rainforest as I expected. If you were pissed, you could have mistaken yourself for being at New Millennium.
Yeah, can do's next like adventure to New Millennium.
4-hour trip around New Millennium.
We're doing it too.
But yeah, we saw monkeys that on first day. Is that horrible? You're not saying much about that. Are you withholding judgment until I have some? You love it. I don't like that.
The only prime that's worth getting is the blue one.
Yeah.
And maybe the lemon and lime. Until we try...
That tastes like a rip off something else as well.
I'll be honest with you. Don't like them.
I'm honest with you, I don't like them, but...
Oh, I'm having them all. I don't like that one at all. That's probably yours, that.
Right,
but sorry, what were you saying?
We saw monkeys and that. It was a good laugh first day.
Do you get to feed them bananas or is that not?
No.
Okay, I'll just get that question off. Let me just catch you where I were there. Sorry, Dan. This is an interesting thing I found about...
Yeah, carry on.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, sorry.
Is the mountain... I know this is like proper off topic because we're on a bit of a slight schedule there, but the mountain on the equator.
Yeah, smart.
So it's what's it described as? It's described as walking from the equator to the North Pole. And is that how it felt? Well, reading it online. So it's like from super hot to super cold. Obviously, we don't want to jump too far ahead, but like from your experience, would you say that's actually quite a good description of climbing Kilimanjaro?
No. Yeah.
Delete that one. Sorry, but it was...
Yeah, put that with monkeys for your banana. No, it will, but I think that's just normal. You're going to pay her.
Yeah, that is true.
I will say that Tanzania and in the jungle and that, it's a warm, humid country, like very, very warm, very humid. And then obviously, yeah, the higher up you go, it gets, there's ice glaciers.
All your shrubberies get lower and stuff, because obviously you've got all your fucking massive trees in rainforest. As you get up, I imagine you get fuck all.
Yeah, there's less oxygen, just becomes rocks at the top. You go through 4 different states of what it's called.
She mentioned it on that video and I can't remember what she said.
Alpine desert, for God's sake.
Did you have a briefing before every climb?
No, not really. Obviously, had a briefing at the hotel first day, whatever.
What is that like? What are they talking about?
I thought about so intense is basically just like, here's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Did you come with a notebook and that line?
No. Have you got walking poles? No, we've rented them there, that's fine. And then it basically, here's your checklist. If you've got all these, if you haven't got all, let me know. I'm like, sweet, see you morning, August.
So that's basically just like booking a fucking, listen up, booking like a boat trip in Iron Apple. They knock on your door and more like, you coming to a boat trip or no?
No, on the
yeah,
door.
no on the door.
I don't know what I expected, but obviously, what it's a walking.
I don't know what it is, but I expected like, because I've seen like those Mount Everest climbing films, and I expect like, right guys, it's going to be the hardest thing ever, but we know we've got this, blah, 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 blah. Like,
well, they did say that at Summit, but I thought they'd go through all your gear and stuff, but they didn't. Just give you a list, which I've already seen, and if you haven't got it, let us know. But did they do a briefing before every walk? No, so what they do is, after you've had your food in the evening, and before they went to bed, which was like right early, they'd just say, right, what we're going to do tomorrow, Nico's going to be leading you, so he do talk, and he just say, we're getting up at this time, we're setting off at this time. They'd say, what clothes you sort of need, what sort of like warmth and level of clothes.
Yeah.
Because obviously starting at shorts and t-shirt, and then like, if you need like a jumper and stuff. That were it really, and it was like sweet morning.
So on your jungle trek,
yeah.
Again, I'll link back to the video that I watched. They took a few breaks as well.
Yeah.
And like, how many breaks did you be surprised how many breaks you're taking? Because I feel like, again, I'm just A to B me. I'm not like enjoying my surroundings and that for some reason.
You probably about every half an hour you have a break.
How do they keep your packed lunches? And talk to me about the packed lunches.
Are we jumping straight into that?
Well, I'm assuming you had a packed lunch on the first day.
Yeah, but that were at the gate, that were it. Apart from that, you don't have packed lunch.
Really?
You have cooked food. You just have...
Well, yeah, don't jump into that, because I've got a few questions out here about cooked food. But the packed lunch I do want to talk about. So if you're going on Can Do Experience, this is what you can expect from your packed lunch from the horse's mouth.
And it's from... everyone's got the same. You get a carb... It's from a hotel. You get a cardboard box. You get an apple, a bit of chicken that's overcooked.
Is it in tin foil?
A carton of juice.
I'll see the video.
A carton of juice, a muffin that's in cling film, and an apple. And a sandwich, that's it.
What sandwich, man? It's important.
It's like sometimes it's one time we just cucumber and tomato. I'm like, no. Oh no, thank you. I'll have a breakfast wrap.
They've got a bit of gravel off the floor of Kilimanjaro.
It weren't good, but then after that you didn't eat packed lunch. But yeah, break wise, you have a lot of breaks, but it's nice because 1, to catch your breath, which obviously you didn't need in jungle bit, but still. 2, taking your surroundings. 3, regather your stuff. Sometimes you need to readjust, that's it, readjust some scraps. Get a proper drink, get a snack out, just, and again, take scenery in, take some photos. So you didn't just want to steam. I know you did it in 4 hours, but you didn't just want to steam all the way up.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I need to. Are you cracking and slacking? You ever taste that and tell them how it is? So.
You ever taste that and tell me how it is?
Well, I'll ask you a
I'll
question.
say exactly what that's trying to be.
Oh, you don't like it. At the end of day one, Dan, you got to camp. Tell me about setting up camp, setting up your tents. Do the guys help set up any other things? Let me just have a taste this.
No, carry on. I need to get your verdict.
It's better.
It's lilt.
It's unfizzy Lil. It's got grapefruit in it, hasn't it?
It's lilt. Sorry, it's Fanta. Have you seen the rename Lilt?
Fanta.
The Lilt branding. It's now called Fanta Tropical or something.
Good. Yeah, I've said it. You come to Fine and Dandy podcast for these controversial things. Fuck Lilt. I've had enough of it. This is actually alright, this one. If you're ever in a shop and you see that, pay 20 quid for it if you want.
What were you saying?
So the first day's over. Camp.
Everything's set up, man.
Do they steam ahead then and set it up for you?
Yeah, porters, man. It's always watch out, porters. You stand at the side, they steam past you, got shit on their head. You get there, we got to camp, doing this jungle thing. These are building there, and I would say there's a building at every camp, like an actual made out of shit.
Well, this is something that I wanted to talk to you about, and I will jump forward. onto camps such as going up to almost Summit Day, maybe the one before. Is that called Cathedral Peak or something? I don't know. But there's actually buildings there made out of looks like brick and mortar.
Yeah, but they're just like their offices. Like it's where like.
But how the fuck have they got them there?
I don't know. It's just some match. Fair play to whoever's done all. Like they'd be like there were like a couple of footbridges. Who the fuck's made them? But thank you very much. But you can't go in them. Like they're not for you. There's just an office for like because they check you in at each like camp.
Mad that they've got an office that we can't. Up Kilimanjaro.
Got to camp. You know, there's not just our group again. There's obviously other companies that you can travel with. It's a bit like a little festival village, and then there's our tents. Then there's like
is this camp 1? Sorry.
Yeah, and there's like a communal tent, and there's porters' tents, and then we just picked a tent, and I picked tent number 3, and then that was my tent for the rest of eternity. And jobs of
Single manner, or do you share it?
Single man, luckily, but I went fully expecting that I'm sharing, and thank fuck I didn't.
That'd fucking stink. No offence. Right, let's talk about food now. Camp 1. Day
Are we
1.
already on camp 1? We've been going half an hour, we're just on camp 1.
Yeah, sorry, I'll budge it on it. Well, it's a lot the same, innit? Because it's water. So, what's the food like? What are you eating? Is it in a communal area? What's the crack? Or do you go back to your own tent and be like, fuck off, man?
Well, I took a tray in that.
Yeah,
No.
like prison. So when they slop some mashed potato on you, just like, thank you, can do.
I'd have murdered some mashed
Do you
potato.
want any green peas? Can do, mate.
You want any more chocolate? Yeah, you can do.
There is other.
I think first dinner actually right now, but obviously they're going to do, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got
You know what I can do is that obviously these are other companies. No, I can't remember. I've got photos of one before, and it was something half decent, but essentially dinner. You're all in the
We
same.
might put a photo up here if we can be asked.
You're in the same tent, and it's just like a normal tent. You can stand up in it.
I imagine this kind of setup.
Yeah, it's just like camp in a row. Like you sit there were like 9 in our group. You sit down. Every time you got to camp, there's everything set up, and you go in. Obviously, once you've got your change and your walking boots on, so if you go in, I'm going to call it the communal tent. You go in dining tent or whatever. Just sit down. There's all tea, coffee, hot chocolate.
It's fucking
peanut
mental.
butter. There's all sorts. All you want. I had about 1 million hot chocolates. What brand called? Choco Primo. We rinse through that.
There is other hot chocolate brands.
Yeah, they obviously is. Can do absolutely sorted out. They actually they do a resupply on like day 5, and we specifically requested more hot chocolate. And they literally
Weren't it
sent
nice,
more.
like?
Nice as fuck. 'Cause I brought a Kilimanjaro tea bag home, but obviously the milk it's not like fresh cow milk. It's powdered milk.
Oh, right, okay.
So obviously I was drinking out with chocolate.
Yeah.
So I absolutely rinse through them. Then you wait, and then shout out Juve comes in. He's his waiter, just comes in and serves us. You always start with your soup. First
So
one,
this is a
cucumber soup.
question. This is a question I really want to get you. I love food. I love cooking. I love all this. Every day, are you eating a 3-course meal? Like, I'm not saying that's loads, but I'm saying are they preparing the porters? Right, we've got a starter to make, lads. We've got a main to make. We've got a dessert to make. Dan Lester don't like peanut butter, so we can't have that dessert. But you do, obviously.
Not dessert. You have a slight bit of soup all the time. And to be honest with you, I remember the first one with cucumber soup. They're actually quite nice.
Why are they obsessed with cubes?
I don't know, but then it'd be something else soup. But it all just tastes exactly. It was just the same tasting soup with like a different veg shaved on top.
All right,
That
yeah.
was it. Obviously, soup were alright, and then you had a main, and it was just whatever it were. You didn't. A couple of days we had like a
Imagine
dessert,
watching this
but it weren't much.
at home. What can we get for main courses, Dan? I need to know.
A lot of rice,
Okay.
bit of pasta.
Is it all hot?
Yeah, they all cook it hot. We had pizza for starter one day.
Pizza?
But only like literally that big to share.
You full on complaining. I go to the website like, it's a bit small. Wait, it stunk.
Can do better. Can do a bigger one. I don't know, what else was there? It was a lot of like stew meat kind of stuff, veg. Don't get me wrong, I put it back on, but obviously you lose.
You lost a lot of timber.
You're not eating any shit at all, but like, I've said this to everyone, you can't complain at what food you get to say that
No.
you're up a mountain,
Very true.
but I'd had enough for it. It was shit.
Can you please sponsor this what we're doing on Saturday? The food was shite.
No, it weren't. Like I said, on
Not
8
some more
day
lilt.
trek, good job went at 11, I was fed up. I wanted some normal snap. But I just don't think they do it in Africa, man. It weren't. I will say this, I didn't really have a decent meal in the full state, even when I got to choose what I wanted, so.
I wanted to ask you, at the end of your first day, did you like reflect on it like, wow, first day's done, but we've been recording for 75 minutes and we're just at Camp 1? So I might ask that question a little bit later on, but I did see waking up, starting your next day, I watched the video obviously, and somebody come...
Shall we just pause it here? We're going to end this here, you're just going to watch this other video because...
Yeah, every question's in there. Teas and coffees made for you in the morning as well. I saw...
Make them for us.
I thought the guys came around and were like, tea, coffee? Breakfast.
Maybe, obviously it can do them, obviously there's a drop. No, they just leave hot water and all that shit on the table, you can make what you want.
I'm assuming you have breakfast to start your day off as well. Is that
porridge?
Only porridge, no bacon, no sauce, no egg?
No, there were that thing, they were porridge, then they'd have like sausage bits, like you're funny, you know what you get, like all-inclusive buffet sausages.
I fucking hate them little pieces
of shit. Yeah, they're like red, aren't they?
Yeah.
There were them, what else were there? Fruit, a lot of fruit, which obviously I didn't eat.
Lost loads of Tim's eat.
What else were there? Sometimes bacon, but that were a bit sketchy. But I just had porridge in the morning. We had cereal too at days and I couldn't get enough.
What were it, Coco's?
No, right, cornflakes, right? I can't remember, but yeah. But yeah, it's plenty. The porridge were nice, and we'd all get porridge and we'd just put like peanut butter in or honey or something in it.
Right. I believe now, Dan, we're moving on to the heather part of the trail.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I watched a video, and she said that she's moved on to the heavy part of the trail. Maybe that's because, she basically saying that the scenery is now starting to change. There's a couple of steep inclines coming up now. You're getting towards Camp 2 now. We're getting a little bit different. Shrubbery's going down. No more rainforest over your head. What's it like?
As if halfway through day 2, you pop out at rainforest and you can actually start to see the mountain now. And it's in the distance. You're not on it.
That's a really good thing. Can you see your summit from the bottom to the top, pretty much? Or do you ever lose contact with it eyesight-wise?
No, from that point you can always sort of see the top of the mountain. It's not the place where you're going up it. Because we are route, if you look at it top down actually on a map, we start here, we start from the sort of northwest side, you do that, and then obviously it's a volcano, and then you sort of like go around it, and then you go up the other side.
Right.
Because that's where that's the best path to summit it. So yeah, you can see the mountain, but it's proper in distance, man. Like, and this is the thing that we couldn't get a scale of. We could see it from his hotel mountain. It looks frigging massive, but like, there's no to compare it to. Something could look massive.
It's standalone, isn't it?
Yeah, something could look massive, but like, it's only 100 metres away.
Yeah.
So it's tiny. Whereas this, I think this was the opposite, where it was huge. Obviously, it was basically 6 kilometres tall, but it was very far away. So I'm not saying it didn't look massive, it did, but I don't know. Someone could look at it and go, God, that's big, or someone could look at it and go, it's not as big as I thought. It's hard because do you know what I mean? It's proper distance. But when it is a bloody big, and looking at it, I will want to be like, fucking hell, that's big. Like, are we in awe? Yeah. It's an absolute beauty. The views from day 2 onwards, unbelievable.
Sick.
That's some photos I got. Like, I remember we walk up on after Camp 2.
Is that Shearer?
I can't remember what they're called, but something like that. We did stop at Shearer.
It might be Cathedral Peak.
Shakira. I remember, we're going to bed actually, so clouds move quick, because you're in the clouds, literally. See, I'm the immediate clouds, I'm not stopping. And we at Camp 2, you're sort of in this like, there's shrubs, but they're like sort of small trees. So it's a bit like not full-on rainforest, but obviously a bit higher than that, less oxygen. And it was rate cloudy, and we're like, oh, we're just in a field and that. And it's rate cloudy for the majority of the day, but in the morning and the evening it clears up. I remember we come out at like mess tent where we had our food, and it was dark and clouds were clear and you could just see it there. And they were like,
the mountain itself?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first time I could just see it, apart from the hotel, that's the first time I could see it, and I was like, fucking hell.
I'm assuming you got a pic of that.
I did, and then obviously the next morning...
Might put it if we can be asked.
Next morning when we woke up, that view for I got up as the sun was rising, got up, look at my tent, you can see a huge mountain and it's orange sun behind it.
That's beautiful.
Unbelievable, man.
Is that one of the best things you've seen?
The full views on the full trip, boy, yeah. Like, it just kept getting better.
That's thick. And I love the way you were going there. I'm going to bring it back down to earth for a quick second. I don't want to talk about this too much. 2 8-hour hikes under your belt at the minute.
2 8-hour? Nah. Like
2
5
hikes
hours.
under your belt at the minute. Shitting.
I thought there'd be no stopping.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be like a leaky brown tap all the way up mountain, but maybe because I weren't eating much. You've been with me when I've done nature shit. Even just in Barnsley. And so I thought I'd be fine with it, but I just didn't need to. I saved it to camp. And I think maybe because you are only walking for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I weren't desperate to go, and if I were, it's like, well, camp's in an hour.
Yeah.
And when you get to camp, obviously they do carry it's like a portable camping one. It's like that far off ground. It's like a square cube if you fold it down. It's like that far off ground and off you pop.
You have talked to me about this, and I looked at this video I watched. You've got to grab something out of that toilet and remove the shelf, in order for your shit to fall through. Did you do that every single time?
No, I didn't figure that out until basically after it melted. So it's like a trick. There's like a flusher that doesn't really work. It just squirts a bit of water.
Have you not got to like pump it?
Yeah, but it's not enough pressure to like actually jet the shit off the ball. And then for some reason, it must be for smell. There's like a lever at front. You pull it. It's basically like pulls the tray out like a slot machine with two pencils. Yeah. And I didn't know me, but for days I've just been shitting on this tray, and then like pulling it out, and it sort of like scrapes it off into bowl kind of thing.
God.
But it never really flushed, so there'd always be a bog brush, and what you do is just shove it down.
So you never left it in too much of a mess?
No, and no one in, obviously that was for just for our camp. No one, it never really were discussing it. I mean, it smelled.
Don't get me wrong.
Because it's a warm tent, black tent, and it's very small, and obviously you shit.
Filled with shit.
Yeah, but fair play to whoever's got to. I know that I do. Obviously, they empty it every camp, but fair play to geezer who carries it on his head.
Full
respect, man.
That right, Dan. What are the terrain changes like at minute? From flat to rocky? Any twisted ankles? Bloody hell, we don't want that. I'm going to follow you with a second question there as well. At this point in the climb, I saw people like getting like little rocks and stacking them into towers and stuff. What the hell is that about?
Aren't they called cairns or something?
I don't know.
I know exactly which bit it is because that was day 3 walk. We just come across this.
We might be on day 3 now, guys.
Come across this open bit and we just saw all these rocks stacked up. And it was mint and got photos of it, we're all stacking rocks. I think it's just a human thing to like, I put that rock on.
Okay.
But then
so
I did, yeah. After that point, you couldn't shift for them. Every time there were rocks,
really?
wait at something, doing, you know what I mean? People just couldn't get enough. It's like everyone, no one thought of doing it, someone thought of doing it at this specific point. Every fucker copied, and after that, everyone was like, best stack these rocks.
Yeah. It's like you're just tidying up around your house, like some rocks over there, put them in a pile.
No, I think it's just that sense of, like, and there were loads of individual ones, but there were like somewhere like smack next to the path, and it was huge. And it's just that sense of, even though you're putting on a tiny rock, like, I've added to that.
Yeah, I think that's
nice.
Cool. That's cool.
Nice.
At this point, I think we might be on day 3 now, I think. Are we noticing any temperature changes? If you had to whip out a coat, a little cagoule perhaps?
It's a bit cooler. It is cold. It's not like as the first 2 days are warm shooting jungle and you're like quite low. After that, it is quite cooler. I was still walking in t-shirts. So for me, because I used to be a fat guy since I lost all that weight.
Yeah.
When I'm moving about, I'm right warm me. But like, yeah, there were people in like coats and stuff. And it rained on day 2, but that wasn't the time it rained.
What's the situation? Because I'm pretty sure that there are other travel companies available, but do they recommend like a -30 sleeping bag or something along these lines?
They provide it.
So I'm assuming on day 1 you're in the rainforest, it's warm, you're sleeping in the -30.
I just day 1 I just laid.
You raw dogged it.
Laid on it. I'm again sleeping. I'm red hot all the time myself.
Okay. So you didn't have I did think of you, being too hot in that environment.
Well, obviously the good thing about sleeping bag is you can unzip it and put your leg out or something. So
yeah.
Never used one before.
Hold on, Dan, let me get this. So, day 3. Any signs of fatiguing yourself now? Because I'm thinking you're getting a bit higher. Oxygen levels are getting a bit lower. Are you getting a bit tired just from walking all day? Are you fed up? No.
I won't know.
Piece of piss.
You can feel. You can definitely. I won't know to say specifically day 3 you could feel it, but as the trip went on, you can feel the altitude. Headaches kick in. It's harder to breathe. Your heart's working twice as much and as fast. So
yeah.
You can definitely feel the altitude. Like I said, I won't be able to tell you when. I said probably most definitely from day 4 onwards. Because I remember that's where you actually sort of in it. But no, it didn't really get any harder. It was. I remember day 3's camp. It was because it's walk high, camp low. Day 3's camp it on this. We'd walk from that like sort of shrubbed area to more like rocky. It looked like Grand Canyon kind of thing. Came to this flat bit where all camps were, and then we had some food, and then there were a bonus. You didn't have to go on it, which I was surprised. There were a bonus hike, which we did after dinner. Well, half of us did.
Explain this.
It's just to go high to get some altitude, and it's actually not as bullshit. So ports could get some signal on the phone.
Really?
But we walked up probably another 300 meters, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is. But when you turn right, you could see our camp. It was fucking miles away. Walked up, and then we just got these mint views, and it was the afternoon, so it was nice weather, it was clear.
We're talking Cathedral Peak here.
I know, I don't know what Cathedral Peak is, man.
Not sure.
I could name camps I went to, I don't know which order they're in.
Right.
I think Carafu camp or something.
Yeah, I've got a Carafu camp looking about.
We did this bonus thing, but then, like I said, there's actually a signal at the top, so there's all portraits on FaceTime and that. And I got a bit of signal for the first time in a while, so I will obviously smash it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that, and then there was this flat bit, and it was where we're asking, you can ask the guides, and they're so nice, man. Like, you get close to them, they'll do all for you, like if you need them to carry something, they'll carry it. They know so much about it. Obviously, they've done it that many times. They've all climbed like over 150 times.
That's mental, by the way.
It's their office. They refer to it as their office. And obviously...
This is going to work. Bit of a commute.
No, and I guarantee that they'll get asked the same questions, because they do it every 2 weeks. They do it twice a month. They'll get asked the same question, but they're so happy and they loved it. And we were just in awe, like, I actually don't think it's a bad job, me. Obviously, when it gets cold at the top, I won't want to do something night every night, but like, there's worse places to be.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, you can ask them out, and there's this flat bit, and they're like, yeah, this is where it glaced, this is where it used to be a riverbed, where it before, about 30 years ago, where it dried up with global warming and stuff.
Fucking hell.
And this like square rectangle marked out with rocks and all that, and it says that it's highest football. I don't know if this is Guinness World Record, but it's highest football pitch in the world, and there's a record for some Tanzanian women's team coming and having a game up there.
That's mental.
So I'll have to Google it after, but I think that is legit the case.
That's proper. That's a good fact.
Hang on, let me go on, carry on.
Well,
oh my god, all this time. He's been frigging zoomed in. It doesn't matter.
was it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It looked really zoomed in.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Like, that zoomed in.
That's hilarious.
I don't know how, but carry on.
Right. Is there any signs at the minute you're actually on a volcano? Or is it just like being on a mountain?
Day 3, it felt like... Some point, it's weird. Some points you feel like you're on Mars. Others on the moon, others at Grand Canyon, others on a mountain, others in a forest. I don't know. Can you tell it's a volcano? Not really. You just look up and you can see it's big. There's so much wide. That's how you can tell it's a volcano. It's
yeah.
It looks.
It's like this in it.
Yeah, it's very. It's not pointy. It's chody at top. It's fat.
Yeah.
You can just see that, and you can. You're looking like, I'll be there soon, buddy. Don't worry about me.
So, just a little quick touch on the guides, not inappropriately, but I love how zoomed in that way. That's like.
I don't know how long for, but it will probably zoomed in.
Did you get a chance to talk to the guides all about their Kilimanjaro experience? Have they got any particular favourite climbs or anything like that they've done? Or any like horrible shit? Has anybody died in the group? Probably won't tell you.
They didn't really tell us that. I imagine there probably has been a few, but they didn't really tell us that. They've done it that many times. We always asked, we said, who are your favourites? And like, but we're not.
No.
But I don't know. They told us some stories, but I can't remember, to be honest with you. But they're just all sound as fucking. They've all done it a load of times. They said that we've dropped on with weather because it was clear, it weren't too cold. Even that we did the last hike and the last safari before it was wet season, because they didn't have autumn, winter, summer, and all that. They just have wet, dry.
Okay.
And when it's wet season, they've all got farms. They're all farmers, man.
They sounded fun. They live a really good life, don't they?
Yeah, man. They've all got kids. They've all got wives. Probably sexy and that. Just good lads.
I've got a couple of food questions and then like a couple of different things that I noticed along my time watching this video. So, we kind of answered this about the hot foods and the lunchbox. So actually, what's in the lunchbox? Do you get to kind of know how many calories you're intaking a day?
No, but they keep saying always, are you full? I always felt bad, me. Like, obviously, we never cleared all plates. They will cook you more than enough food.
Yeah.
If, for example, if it's a rice dish, there's one of them big silver plates of rice, and it's stacked, it's piled like Kilimanjaro. Yeah. Like, you're not like, ooh, I best only put a bit on.
Yeah.
There's plenty for you. And obviously soup, there's loads of soup, and they're always like, all good, all finished, like, all full. No one wanting more, because obviously you need it for energy and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I used to feel bad. We get fruit, and no one would really touch it. There were like 2 people that would eat it. But I presume that, well, guys have their own food. They were on like porridge, and they basically had like smoothies, because obviously they're not going to carry 30 people's worth of food on the red. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were a couple of times where guides would come and we'd get something, sit down, and they'd be fucking wolfing it down. So I don't think it went to waste. But
while doing research on this, I found that
on this video,
did you have to sign your name into every camp to make sure that everybody arrived safely?
We only did it on first and second, then after that, no. We have to sign off the mountain.
Right, okay.
But not really.
These guys were like signing every day to make sure everyone got to camp safe, but that's a different company can do.
Well, I think the guides might have done that for us.
Yeah.
We only, like I said, day 1 and day 2, we had to do it ourselves. Then after that, no, we didn't give a shit.
Somebody described walking on the next little bit of the journey, I believe from Shearer Camp to it, around 12,500 feet or something like that. I can't really remember. That might be wrong. But it's like proper picturesque and stuff, but they described it as like walking on Mars because it looked like different.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like walking on Mars, man.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at next questions.
Just watch that video instead, man. It's even better than this shit.
Right. What's Lava Tower?
Lava Tower. So Lava Tower from day 4, I think. You walk up and at this point you're walking around to get to the other bit. You're very high. You're at like 3,500 meters. You're walking around to get to it. And Lava Tower is a camp, quite steep. That probably more challenging than other ones to get to, but still it weren't too bad.
Did you have to like do some like bullshit wall climbs and that to like push?
We did it after day after Lava Tower. We did.
Yeah.
So we walked to Lava Tower, and it's an actual camp where people do camp. And we just had the set was communal tent, just that, and we had hot dinner there.
Yeah.
And then we descended 600 meters to the next camp.
Quite a descent.
Probably the biggest descent that we did. But people camp at Lava Tower are asked to do the it's called Northern Ridge, and that is essentially from Lava Tower. Because obviously you can see the summit, it's there. It's not there, but it's there. You can see it. They basically are doing actual like full on rope climbing, and they said that people die every year on that. Other year, I think it was last year, because obviously loose rocks.
Yeah.
Just wiped out 6 people, 1 rock.
Fuck off.
So I won't do that for no love and money. So we had dinner there, and then we descended into that camp where I phoned you and I had Wi-Fi.
Is that the Barranco?
Yeah, because you do the Branco wall the next morning,
Yeah.
which were actually rock climbing, which was sick.
That looked like quite
very
fun.
quite vertical. More vertical when you're looking at it from a distance, but that was scrambling. That was fun. Like, you go to this kissing rock way, like full on.
Yeah. And is there somebody like make sure you don't fall off at any point?
Sort of, but obviously I'm hard as fuck, so like.
Yeah, they're just kind of like.
Basically, me can do uniform because I'm hard. You know what I mean?
They are the company's available. So that Barranco camp, that Barranco wall, that's the most challenging bit so far, I assume.
No, yeah, in terms of physical ability, because that was the first bit that weren't really walking, they were actually climbing. But it weren't like anyone can. You know what I mean? Anyone can do it.
So this is.
It was the most fun bit.
This is before the summit night now. You're at Katanga Valley. You arrived at Barrage Camp. You're 15,000 feet.
No, we had a day. We walked from when we did Branco Wall. We walked to another camp, and then from that we had a night there, and then after that we walked to base camp.
Okay, is that Barrage Camp?
But I don't know. I forgot.
Summit night, Dan.
Yeah.
All this video has been zoomed in. It's finally zoomed out. This is all you care about.
It's still on. Yeah.
Talk to me about summit night. You're going to bed early doors because you've got a big day ahead of you.
Well, I didn't.
And I really want you to dramatise it. I want some imagine music in the background
like spotlights.
doo-doo-doo.
I didn't get any sleep.
No,
Cost
couple
me
of night coming
malaria.
out of both ends. Send.
Cost me malaria tablets and Laszlo snoring. I didn't get any sleep. Shout out Laszlo, I love you, man. So
Do you want to mention your campmates a bit?
I will do after, yeah. So you meant to like, it was sort of a shorter walk. No, it weren't a short walk actually. It's bullshit. I thought like a 2 hour.
You just called yourself. You started saying something, you just bullshit yourself. Like, stop fucking saying that.
I had one impression that from the camp that you've just been on about to base camp, it was a 2 hour walk because you need to rest. It weren't. It was the same length as us, which were 4 or 5 hours. But then obviously we had to do a lot more climbing later. So we got to base camp, and there's 2 base camps. There's base camp 1. It's like Shearer 1 and Shearer 2 or something. And we were at the higher one, which is another 200 metres, and you got to get site clearance for that or something. And I'm glad that we did, because we'd have just had to do the most. That were 200 metres, but it was a proper bullshit walk.
Why is it bullshit?
Scrambling, it was hard. At this point, you can really feel oxygen.
Can you?
You're
saying you're struggling a little bit here?
Not struggling, but it's a lot harder than what you've done before.
Any members of your group thinking, fucking hell, man?
A few complaining, but we all got to the top, man. Poorly,
Yeah.
poorly. So we got to this base camp, we had some food. Then they're like, right, basically said, this is what's going to happen. They give you a briefing.
Love it. We've got back to briefings now.
Well, sorry, so you arrived at camp at 1 o'clock, you had your food, basically just after you arrived. Then they're like, go get some rest. And they want you up at 5 o'clock, even though, again, I was still awake. Want you up at 5 o'clock for tea, supper, whatever, more food. Then we're back to bed. Then the basic briefing, it was like at 11 o'clock, At 9:45, we're going to come wake you up again. Wakey, slap in your tent. Then obviously got to pack and get out. And said at 11:30, no later, we are leaving.
Right.
So obviously, I didn't sleep. You pack. I'll listen to music actually. You pack, get your stuff on. You've been sleeping in like loads of layers because it's cold. But it weren't as cold as that I were expecting. Again, it was quite a mild. I think it was -7. It can go down to -30. And
shit.
That must be so much colder than -7, obviously.
Yeah.
So it weren't as cold as I were expecting. From what I've read up on, obviously that video that you've watched.
There is other videos available.
But I remember at briefing, August, the main guide, he said to us, "This will be the hardest thing that some of you do."
Fucking hell. That's fucking inspiring.
And the nerves were kicking in, because like, right, it's all. This is the thing. So I know we've been talking. It's been very literal questions like, "What do you do about this? How do you do?" But my experience were, it was quite long. We're all ready to summit. I was fed up. I wanted to get off the mountain. Looking back, I weren't fed up, but you were.
Yeah.
You know, you only know what you know in that moment in time. We were fed up. It had been long. We'll get back onto this after, but it was quite a lonely experience. I was just mentally, emotionally, physically ready to get off this mountain. Because like I said, it's not really been hard, but it's not been harder than this long break in between. It adds up, and it will, you know what I mean? It all led to this. And he said it's going to be a challenge, so we were quite nervous. And then, you know, it was pitch black. You can see, it was a full moon, so we saw the head torch, but it sort of illuminated.
Really quite beautiful.
The views are, I will actually get around to doing the video. The views are just, there's no words to describe the views that you see. You know, I come out of my tent and I can see the summit of the mountain with a full moon behind it.
Unbelievable.
And it's just like, what is this? And then you turn around and you can see the full town in motion where we've come from, all the lights. It's just like, this is unbelievable. So you're there ready. You have to prepare a bit differently because you put your layers on. Because when you're walking, you have a wide mouth water bottle. And then a water bladder, which is that tube, which you've obviously been using all the time because it's easy just like that. But as you go up it freezes. It's not froze when you set off, but it just freezes because obviously it's thin and it gets cold, so you have to drink from your water bottle that's in the sock. So like this is going to be the hardest thing ever, and we sets off just so slowly, pull it, and it just... It's hard to think. Looking back now, I'm thinking it weren't even that hard, but it proper were.
I need you to put yourself in that fucking position.
It were more... And I've said this to you, it flip-flopped between being a physical challenge and a mental challenge. Yeah. At first it was a lot more mental because I've wound up, I've got no sleep. I'm, you know, in mental headstate, I just wanted to get off the mountain. I wanted a change, I wanted back, do you know what I mean? You know, you're missing creature comforts and stuff. But so we were walking slowly, pull it, and it just weren't that hard at the start. Obviously it was cold and that, whatnot, but cold weren't really an issue. I thought it was fine. But you just... endless zigzags are like, you know, back up, because you're actually going quite steep at this point. This is not a walking park anymore, so you're going quite steep. Obviously, if there's an incline, it's easier to meander up zigzag. Yeah. It makes it more consumable than going straight up. So obviously you're zigzagging, and it is quite steep. But again, the view, you stop and the views are surreal. And you do stop for water breaks.
Are you like, how many times up there? Like quite a few?
More regularly. Yeah. But you need it. Yeah. But obviously you can't stay on for still because you will freeze. Like even though I'm saying it wasn't that cold, it will freeze, it will fucking freezing, but obviously...
It's hard because you're in a warm house now and you're just like chilling, you're in your shorts, you're in England, you've been back a week and a half.
I'm downplaying it because I've heard that it can go to -30, so it would have been 10 times worse. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, it was bloody freezing. Yeah. When you stop, and again, I'm warm when I'm moving, when I stopped it like, this is freezing. But you needed the break. But like I said, it was more mental, and I think it was... No one's talking because obviously it's summit night, it's single file, it's middle at night, like, you're not in a jungle mode. It's like, oh, look at that monkey, like, it's hard, so you're not speaking. So it's single file, I will be out guide, and you just this endless zigzagging. And they were just like, again, it was a bit like jungle, because it was dark and because we couldn't really see out, there's no visual indication of progress. Yeah. So what were happening?
Treadmill tackle.
Yeah, I was always behind guide for most of the trip, to be honest with you, because I didn't want anyone else in front of me. I want to be as far. I was just eager to get to the front. Yeah. People piss me off, so I just get me to the front. Because obviously you can't go past guide. But like, I'd look up and you could see the rocks. Like I said, it was full moon, so you could see stuff, but you couldn't see the top because whereas I camped and the top were here, I'm now on that bit. Yeah. So I can't see the top. All I could see were like just rocks, man. Just like, always, it never like, oh my God, I can see miles of rocks. It was probably like, there's 50 metres of rocks in front of me, like up verticalness. And you get to it, I'd be like trying to pick out checkpoints in my head. I'd be like, right, we get to that, and surely that's like going to flatten out a bit.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. So I've showed you this before, but what I essentially think were happening were, I'd be walking, and if it were like a line graph, I'm on this bit, and what happens is I get to like a kink in it, and it goes from being like that to like that.
Yeah.
And because my eyesight goes like that, these rocks aren't visible. So you get to this mental checkpoint where I'm like, it's got to be flat after this, or flatten out. No, it was more endless shit.
How long's that for?
It takes 6 hours to get to the summit.
That's a long day.
That's probably the longest we've walked so far as well. So it's all bullshit, and it's just like, I couldn't...
It's all bullshit.
Looking back, it did actually fly.
Yeah.
But it was just, again, so because no one's talking, and because I wanted to go quicker, but obviously you can't, I'm trapped in my head, so I'm getting proper wound up, mate. We'd stop for a drink.
You get really cranky pants as well.
We'd stop for a drink and I'd be like pacing around like I'm going to smack someone. Like, that's not like me. But
Were
like,
you?
I was full of energy and I was pent up anger. Like, I want this to end. Like, but it's not like a you're going around a maze or something, like a horror maze and there's fire exits. If when the fun stops, just leave through this door.
Have a drink of full fat coke and you're back to earth.
Yeah, like if you're doing like a, I did a half marathon literally a year ago today. Did a half marathon.
Really?
Yes, this weekend. It's
Sheffield?
on at minute. Yeah. I
done
didn't
that
stop,
today.
but if you wanted to stop,
You could.
You could have stopped and got a drink and.
There's always a bit of safety. Isn't
Yeah.
there?
Whereas this is what you stop, you freeze to death. You stop, you've got to
I
go
like
down.
that.
Like it's just it were hard, man. So I'd be like,
Love that, how you described that.
we stopped for breakfast. We'd need them. You need a snack for energy. You need a drink. From which this time it's not from there. It's from you got to take your backpack off, which you didn't. Guys had helped you get it out and stuff. They were lovely, but like.
The guys finding this a piece of piss.
Well, we asked them this. They can struggle. They can still get altitude sickness. Obviously, they do it. So
Yeah.
they know what's coming.
They're
They
more
know what
acclimatised to that
they know
shit.
what to expect. They carry oxygen and stuff if you need it. But like, I was just getting wound up at the brakes because like,
I can't believe I'm scared of you, dude.
I'm like in my head. I'm like talking tonight. You're thinking about stuff at home. You're thinking about this wanting to end. Like I was trapped in my own head again. And I feel like without being like a sub story for me, I feel like I was trapped in my own head. Found it very lonely for the full experience. So again, I found something like very lonely, and I'm like, I just wanted it to be over. So then it went from being mentally thingy to physically, and I remember like obviously it's already proper hard to breathe.
Yeah.
You just sort of. It's not like I'm breathing. It's like, oh my god, there's no oxygen, I'm gonna die. Your body's breathing in.
Not quite getting enough.
No, it's like no, it's ever enough.
Yeah.
And your heart's going up. Like you can feel it thumping, and like.
Is that scary?
No, not really, because obviously, again, it's all commercialised. It's not we're the first people to do it, so obviously everyone does it. But like, I remember it got to a certain point halfway up something now where we're like, I could feel the oxygen just like twice as hard, and it went from being
Your like bones, arms feel heavier and stuff. And like
a little bit, but like you're just knackered and like I was walking past rocks, I'm clinging onto some stuff, and
Fucking
even
hell.
I had to ask Porter for a break.
Did you?
But you can't win because it's like you want a break because you physically need it. When we had a break, I'd lay out on rocks, mate.
This is
Literally
mad.
just like laid down. When you need a break, but like it was like a double-edged sword. You wanted a break to rest, but when you rest, you're just delaying. That's running away from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not getting any closer, so you'd have a rest. So yeah, it got very physical and like actually proper hard. So like I wouldn't know. Again, it's hard for me to believe looking back. Well, the hardest thing I've ever done. At the time, like this is by far the hardest thing I've ever done.
I wish I kind of interviewed you straight away. I wish I flew out, met you at bottom, and was like, tell
Like
me
Mario
everything.
Kart, that guy on cloud.
Yeah.
I would say, from remembering how I felt, I actually do think the summit night is the hardest thing I've ever done. For both physically and
You've
mentally.
done quite a few quite hard things.
Yeah, it was solid. But then you get to, you do that kink of rocks does come to Stellar Point, which is the rim bit, and we got there, and then from there it's plain sailing. Still hard, but...
So that small from camp, not small, but that bit from camp to Stellar Point, that's your tough bit on Kilimanjaro. If you are watching this,
That's the most
future
elevation
climber.
you do. It's actually, base camp I think is 4.7, 4.6. Summit's 5.8, just short of 5.9. So what you essentially climbing?
5895.
Yeah, what you're climbing from summit night is like Ben Nevis from sea level. And you
That's
don't even start Ben Nevis at sea level.
That's
You don't
true.
start any mountain at sea level.
No.
See, we've climbed over a kilometre vertical meandering. It were hard. But you get to Stellar Point, and that's the rim of the volcano. That's sort of the summit. Once you get to Stellar Point, there's like a 45-minute walk round to the Uhuru Peak, or whatever it's called, where the
Peak, that's
sign is,
correct.
where everyone goes, hey up. But then that weren't really hard, but that was freezing, man. Like at the top, it's freezing.
Well, let's talk about the top now, because this is you have summited Kilimanjaro now. Sigh of relief, your happiness, or you're a bit like, okay.
When I got to Cellar Point, my mood flipped. You can see it, you know that, and yes, it were a long walk.
Flipped in a good way.
Yeah, and it was still another 200 metres of elevation, but it were dragged out. It was just like a long meandering, snowy path kind of thing. And it were hard, but that were because it were genuine. The coldness at the top were a different level. That were freezing. I remember because like all wind can get you from any side. You what?
Did you get a temp at top?
What I called it were?
Yeah.
No, I don't know, but it was freezing. But it was like a sigh of relief. But the reason you do it set off at night is to get there for sunrise, and we literally got to Stellar Point. 2 minutes later, sun slowly started to come up behind you, and that is the best thing I've ever seen. That was all worth it just to see like that slow, like I don't know, you're just like in awe of it, and it's
you're
like
at the highest point in Africa, watching the sunrise.
You're in the roof, and it's like no it matters. It's like I just remember this overwhelming sense of feeling. I felt accomplishment. I felt small, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it just with that sun coming up, it was peaceful. Like it's just another day on Earth.
I love that.
Like it's not a Monday, it's not a Tuesday, it's not a Saturday. It's just another day that we've made it. Do you know what I mean? That sun come up, and it just slowly got like it went from being like a very thin orange line coming over the horizon to it got thicker, and then it like blue, and then it like got lighter at the top, and then you could see clouds coming up, and there's no one can take away the view, and that's the thing. You can summit it. People like a few days before summited it, cloudy, can't see a thing. Get to the time, love a jubilee. We could not complain at anything. Like the view, not a cloud in sight, man. You could see everything for miles and miles.
That's perfect.
And you could just, when you're in air, if you're flying an airplane when it's like light, and you can see all like sunrise, sunset, you can see clouds.
Yeah.
Well, you're even above that, and you can just see like a carpet of clouds and stuff, and like there's glaciers, and there's a town, there's a full moon, and there's a sun. And it's just like, what is this, man? That's
probably going to be an experience that lives with you for life. That summit and the sunrise. Did you get any overwhelming feelings of emotion?
Yeah, on that walk, I was doing it on my own. Like I wasn't talking to anyone, and I'm not gonna cap you. I was crying most of the way.
On the summit walk.
From Stellar Point to the thing, I was trying to hold it in.
That's really nice.
But and it weren't just me. There were other people, because I think it was just a sense of it's done. It was like all the feelings come into one. So like like I said, I was ready for it to be over with for multitude of reasons. The summit climb that we'd just done was the highest thing we've ever done. It's all been for this. And also, like, I think in my head, it's still, obviously it's a mint achievement. Like people since and even before I went have told me have expressed how big of an achievement it is climbing Kilimanjaro.
Definitely.
And even I don't realise how big it is. And obviously, it's commercialised, everyone can do it, but like you've still got to get there and do it, and we did it. So I think I could like, it was sort of like a video game, it gets end like credits coming up, and I like, you know, Harry Potter, where like he does that spell like when he's fighting Voldemort and all his parents and all people, dead people.
Yeah.
I had that like people tell like you smashed it, man, and I was just like everything coming to one. I was like broke down. I was like, and while all these emotions were hitting you, I could just see sun coming up, and I'm like, I've done it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Done, dusted.
That's sick. That is sick. The next few questions I've got are a bit shit now, because that were a really, really nice thing that you said.
Peak.
That were the peak of the thing. Is there anything that you want to add to this before I close it off and we give a little bit of a shout out to everybody for the sponsorships and the Can Do teams?
Is there anything I want to add?
Yeah, to you, Clive. Anything you think I want to tell somebody who's going to climb Kilimanjaro, or any experience that you want to pop onto the top? No problem if not, Dan, because we have covered a lot.
Yeah, I want to touch back on what I said about how I was feeling throughout the trip.
Okay.
So even though it weren't really a physical challenge until summit night, I found it. Context: we had a group of 9. 4 of us were from work. They're not. They work in the same group of companies. I didn't know them from Adam, any of them. So these are all these 8 other strangers. You get put in with. I'll shout all them out. Nah, not going to name them, but like, we couldn't have dropped some nice group of people.
Love it.
You're forced into this situation that you're never going to be in again with these people that I'm never going to see again. It's just a moment in time, man. And like, we all got along, like it all made it. Like we all had his own characteristics that made it. We all had good bits, there's bad bits. People piss off at times. Do you know what I mean? Like it's intense, man. You've got no escape. But like the people made it, man, and it was fun. We had some good laughs. People got upset. There were arguments or everything, but what do you expect?
fucking reality TV show.
It were good. That would make a good one. But like, it was, because of that, I found it very, very lonely. There were a lot more downtime, so we get to camp at like 1 in the afternoon, because it was only 4 hour walk and you're setting off at 8. We're like, what now? So like, yeah, there's you know, Unit 10, but we're all bored. Like, but I'm not tired and I can't sleep. So me not sleeping mixed with the boredom at camp sometimes, it made it really, really long. Yeah. And that was the only part that made it a bit shit at times. And it weren't shit at all, but there were times where I was getting, you know, I'd get a bit upset on a night and stuff. It was like very, you've got no, if you can't sleep at home,
can't put Netflix on, can you?
No, you can't just wake up and get a cup of tea or move somewhere else. Like, I couldn't sleep, but only place I've got is to stay at this tent. Like, there's nothing. I didn't want signal, but I've got no signal. Just like watch something on my phone. Yeah. Like, I can't. Well, I could listen to music, but I didn't want to waste my battery. I couldn't win. It was a very lonely experience. And so I did get a bit of signal on that day at Branco camp. And I phoned you. I phoned my girlfriend. I phoned my family, grandparents, everyone.
How did that feel to get a little touch?
I slept.
Oh, see.
And actually, I don't know if that helped or a bit of peace, but like, that, you know, I'm supposed to get them letters. I actually know what it means.
I love that. I love that reference.
Because you think, oh, what do you mean you need a letter? But like a little bit of comfort from home, and just like, I didn't want to be sat on Facebook or all like that. But like, I just to speak to people that need something back at home when when you're in such a isolated place, doing a challenge gives you that extra. It's like, you know what, I can smash it.
I'm gonna cry. That's
you know, I remember on that down to Branco camp, that from Lava Tower, that one walk down, I did it on my own, and I had to put my glasses down because I was like getting a bit upset with myself. Yeah. Because I was like on my own, there were me and Steve at front, because we'd sack rest off because we were walking right quick with guide. And I was just like thinking, it was the lowest point I was thinking, I'm fucking fed up, like I've had enough. I feel like shit. Like, I just want to get off, do you know what I mean? And so I had to put my glasses down because I didn't want to be like, oh, fucking, what's he getting upset?
Oh, right, yeah.
And then I remember I just put some tunes on playing out my phone. And
well, do you have headphones or?
No, you could have done, but I didn't want that.
Yeah.
But I just, for the first time, just stuck some tunes on, and like, it put everyone, well, minus Steve's mood, because we were just like, yeah, it's sick, that's a distraction, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good, I like that.
Because it was very lonely, but one thing I will say before you say you think about closing it off is, even more so now, as the memory's getting a bit foggy and remembering details getting a bit thick, like a bit sparse, you just got to enjoy it, man, because at the time, even though them shit moments where I was feeling right down at dumps, I give enough bullet to be back there feeling like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a moment in time. I think it made it by doing it with people that I never knew before and I will never see again. Well, I don't know if we did it, it'd be sick. Yeah. But I think the way around that I've done it were even better, because all these people got together for this one, to achieve the same goal, did it, dispersed, never to be seen again. Do you know what I mean?
Totally get that.
It's a moment in time that I'm never going to forget.
That chapter's closed, kind of
done, dusted, it's just memories, man. It's like, I can't imagine, you take for granted oxygen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You take for granted electricity, signal, hot water. That's going on to Tanzania. Do you know what I mean? You take for granted all these things that we've got in our life that make us so comfortable that when you're up a mountain and all you've got is walking and the goal of getting up there, man.
It like strips all life back a little bit, doesn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, back to basics, but I'm back now.
Well done. Massive, I honestly just want to say massive, I obviously have said it off camera, but congratulations, man. That's unbelievable achievement. You've done everybody proud, man.
Do you want to climb Kilimanjaro?
Yeah, I really want to do, well, we might do 3 peaks this weekend. Obviously it's lower scale, but I want to do a big thing. From my, obviously you've done a lot more, but I want to thank everybody for donating £2,344 for my small part that I played in that, which was staying away.
That was a challenge. That was a challenge.
We did a 24-hour podcast.
It,
as you obviously, some people watched it, but obviously Dan went on then and conquered Kilimanjaro, and we're all very proud of him, Dan. Congrats.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for your donations. We're going to raffle off this again, so I don't get my hand cocked. But yeah, it's been a long. It's not just been the mountain. It's been the build up, the fundraising, the buying equipment,
the planning, the doing.
It's consumed a good 4 months of my life, and now I'm back.
Huge.
That's why I just want to sit on PlayStation for a bit.
That might even be why podcast has been a bit difficult, because like we focused a lot on that, and now we're like, where now? But we're getting.
Yeah. We're back, man. We're back. It's good to have these little fluffy fuckers.
It is. What about Mike's?
I get on, pal.
Right, so thank you very much for listening. If you are climbing Kilimanjaro soon, hopefully this video helps, because obviously you know about how to do shitters now, pulling them out and stuff. Dan, congratulations. You've done a good job, man. We're all proud of you. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time. All the best.